Hello, all who are joining us, going to be joining us, or watching the VOD. Thank you for coming to this episode's The Dragon Teacast, hosted by, of course, the Teaman. Oh, it has been a season, and I mean that in a positive way. So right off the bat, answering the question, is this one of the best anime seasons in the past several years? Yes. We're gonna look into why, things I'm watching, continuing watching, things which I have dropped. If there's any anime I passed by that I have not watched, but you have and you want to talk about, let me know. We'll go back to it. You can explain what makes it good, etc. And all of that fun stuff. Today's tea is going to be Rose Whip, which raises a few questions for me in terms of the waifus. Okay, smells like I made it well. So Rose Whip, its original idea was based off of Yu Yu Hakusho, Rose Whip. Carlos, thank you for joining us. And Kurama's move. So in making the waifus, I'm also going to be making husbando, so it's not purely waifus. Something for the ladies and some dudes, I guess. So my question for Rose Whip is, do I stick with a waifu, or do I go with a husbando, or do I make it incredibly androgynous, much like our red-haired friend Kurama? Or do I go with the white-haired Kurama version? Questions. We will see. Are my cats fighting? They are. Let's watch the action. Come on, get him. Get him. Oh, now they stop. Now they're camera shy. The second I go back... Oh, here we go. Get him. Yeah, there we go. Show him who's boss. One that gets extra food. Yeah? Are you done? Who's gonna win? Place your bets, chat. Place your bets. Yeah, that's enough. Okay. I gotta turn the audio off to that. Yes, I am aware that I am streaming. Thank you, phone. At free run top tier, we will get you free run for sure. I hope you're entertained. Seems like they stopped finally. Right. And I do have the list pulled up here. We'll get to in just a second. One thing I do want to do for some of the people who are watching, or maybe watching the VOD, is I want to just apologize now, and I'll probably be apologizing a lot. I'm sure many of you are aware of the type of content I've been making the past week. And you should know that I hate it. I hate doing it. I don't want to do it. But apparently, that's what people want. Low quality, low brow, clickbait, rage bait garbage. And the results are speaking for themselves. I am gaining a lot more subscribers than before. I'm making a lot more money in relative terms. You know, it's $2 a day versus $20 a day. But even that, I know it's not going to last forever. But still, it is considerably more than what I've been making before. Yesterday, when I looked at the past week compared to the previous week, it was up 515%. As much... What? Don't be sore because you lost. As much as I hate it, the results speak for themselves. And I knew they would. I knew right from the beginning they would. I tried as hard as I could to fight it. I tried as hard as I could to not have to go down this route. But I've gotten pretty tired of trying to do the right thing, listening to people to tell me to do the right thing, and then when I do the right thing, no one gives a shit. I've already gotten a few comments here and there about how this was gonna reflect upon me, or how they wish I could go back to the old stuff I was making, but right now the plan is hopefully at some point I get big enough where the money will just naturally flow in as like a passive income, and I can go back to making quality stuff. But until then, I am a horde, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Because that is what I have to do, unfortunately. And so, with all of that fun stuff, let's go ahead and actually get to the anime. I'll just double click on that. And we'll go in order to talk about it. Let me know your comments in the chat. I will pull them up whenever I deem it fit. And we're starting off with Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3. So, as many know, Shield Hero Season 1 was fantastic. Many people loved it, created quite a nice little buzz around the internet. Season 2 came around. My personal opinion is that it's just not as good as Season 1, but it was still good. I find some people highly overreacting about the quality of Season 2, and I just think it just did not live up to the first season, that's all. Season 3 has come around. The beginning of it, I was okay with. It felt like it was going back to what it was. It felt good. But this new part that it's on with the other 3 heroes, it feels like bad fan fiction. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know where they're trying to go with it, but I don't like it. There's too many things going on while simultaneously nothing is going on. It's hard to describe. Season 2, the one with the turtle? Yes, Season 2 is the one with the turtle. And this season, if it gets to it, will include the Phoenix. But right now we're dealing with the 3 other heroes and whatever they're up to. And I just don't like it. So I'm hoping they're going to fix it. There's several other issues. They're adding lots of new characters just one after another. It's getting really difficult to care. If they do some kind of a massive, like 4 or 5 episode battle for the town at the end of the season or something, and they need all the characters to play the part, then I could see it being worth it. But if they don't, it is just not a good move. And I'm really hoping they pull up and get better. Next up, Spy X Family Season 2. Which doesn't really feel like... It feels like Season 4 because we had Season 1, then Season 1 Part 2, then Season 2 Part 1, so now we're on Season 2 Part 2. If I am remembering this stuff correctly. It's all over the place with that. First few episodes, nice little slice of life, I enjoyed it. And now we're getting to the plot. Right now it's... What do they call it? The cruise ship saga, I think. It's enjoyable. It's still got its... I'm not sure what to call it. It's own unique brand of comedy and wholesome family values, I guess. Very curious at what point will everyone realize that no one is what they seem. I'm not sure there's too much to say because the saga just began with the cruise ship saga. That's one of those things that I'm not going to be able to say 5 times fast. And from here, we move on to what is many people's, probably myself included, most favorite show of the season. Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Let's go back over here a little bit. This has been a fascinating watch. It does... That's why it's all quiet. Don't have the background music playing. Wait, don't I have it playing? Hold on. Why do I not hear anything? Do you guys hear any chat? Because I'm not hearing it at all. Did I move the audio to headphones? One sec. This is weird. Let me know if you guys can hear it, because I can't hear a thing. Oop. There we go. Now I'm hearing it. Alright, now let me know if it's too soft. Right. I played this for my Young Yeah video, and the video that followed it. It's got a nice little thing. I like the smoothness of it. So we're gonna do this guy for this episode, especially since, if you haven't noticed, a little bit on the tired side. But that's to be expected. Alright. Free Ren Beyond Journey's End. It does several things that are unique. First, the most important thing for me at least, it's not an isekai. Oh, thank God it's not an isekai. As more time goes on, the more I am done with isekai. It's getting a little bit unbearable, the amount of isekai. Turn it up just a tinge. Go up a little bit more. Alright, so Freedom Beyond Journey's End. Dealing with the story of the aftermath of defeating the Demon Lord. We don't see that too often. I don't even remember the last time there was a show that did post-Demon Lord destruction. The only one I can remember is... it was a really good one too. I can't remember exactly what it was called. Damn it. It's where the main hero, after he defeats the Demon Lord, decides to join the Demon Lord's army. If anyone remembers the name of that one. No, not Goblin Slayer. So they do that, and they do something I've not seen any show do before, which is deal with the fact that elves live really long lives. They make connections with people. Connections which, on one hand, is very short for them, but that also means they gotta deal with the pain of losing people a lot more often than anybody else. So seeing that play out is fantastic for me. For anyone who has not seen the show, what do you want? No, I'm working. Can you believe this cat? Donate $10 now. We'll bring this cat up and they'll make him the star. So dealing with that, for anybody who has not watched it yet, I would highly recommend watching it 1 episode a day until you catch up. It is not a show that you wish to binge on. It is a show that you want to take your time. You want to let things digest a little bit. I know they came out with the first 4 episodes in 1 day. I think that was a mistake. Usually I say that it's a good thing when shows do this, popular shows specifically, because it lets people kind of sink themselves in. Like Oshinoko. Oshinoko is a show that definitely needed to do what it did, because that end of episode hook is what really made it just so fantastic. But this show, not so much. This show needs time to breathe. An anime you need to marinate, yes. It is an anime that you need to marinate. If I was to give a form of criticism, this one is very, very mild. It's the way that anime that makes you aura. One tiny criticism I would give is the way every character is deadpan is... I'm not too much of a fan of it. Like, all the characters kind of have the same sound and vibe. With the exception of the male protagonist, whatever his name was. I can't remember his name, unfortunately. He at least has moments where he's nice and scared. Oh my god, nobody's donated $10, so I can't bring you up here. I'm sorry. I know you're pretending that you're hungry when you're all fat. The fight scenes have been fantastic. From the dragon to the demons. What they did with the demons, I am so pleased that an anime finally did this. No more demons are people too. Let's listen to the other side of demonhood. None of that. Demons are evil. They use language to manipulate. The only thing you should do with them is eliminate them. Who says racism can't be good? Right, that's 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hold your claps. I got you. So, what else we got about this? I also like the way they portray magic orders. They're not showing it all the time, and when they do show it, it's a good way of orchestrating the power level. It's nice and vague, but still solid enough. transparent, I should probably say, not vague. It's just nice to see the way they're doing all the magic. And the more episodes that go on, the more the world expands, which is great. They have not thrown every single little thing at you. And as things go on, you learn more about the past, you learn more about the present, the future, and it's all slowly coming together as Friren's elven humanity, I'm not sure what you call it, it all starts to kind of come together as she starts to learn a little bit more about the lesser lived races. I guess if you want to go with it. So with that, what else we have? Goblin Slayer Season 2. So this one's an interesting one. So as many know, I am a huge fan of Goblin Slayer and what it does. There's a lot of things this season that I am not too happy with. The art style has slightly changed. It's brighter, but dirtier. Like, the colors are considerably brighter, and I've noticed that. But there's a lot of obvious, rushed, lazy, poor drawings in this, especially when people are moving. It's just not as entertaining to look at, not as beautiful to look at as the first season. I don't know what they did, I don't know what they changed. If some of you heard me on Legal Mindsets podcast last week, and some people disagree with me, but they nerfed, and I'm not usually the guy to complain about this one. As a lot of you know, I'm the prude one of this just anime group. They nerfed the chest sizes of pretty much everybody, but they did it to the point where it was distracting. It's bad because in this show, chest sizes is part of like a long-running gag, where every single person is either just flat or massive. Now they got a lot of the massive people just kind of mid, and it's just distracting. They're taking away many jokes because of it. Otherwise, action has been okay. They've changed a couple of things from the manga. Can't remember exactly what happened in the manga, but I know some things were different. I would not say it's worse. And what I'm curious about is that, for me, it's caught up. Calgudon, so you've noticed it too, right, Skull Leader? It's not just me. Because Legal Minds had put up a poll, and it was like 50-50. Where 50% said, yeah, they noticed, and another 50% said, no, they didn't. So for me, the next episode will be interesting because they have caught up with the manga. And so I don't know, finally, what's happening next. Curious to see where they go with it. There was also another scene in the last episode they ruined, and I am upset. Big budget cuts, the damn shame. Went from double D's to breast cancer patients. So in the last episode, when Goblin Slayer saw the previous victim, and he went up to her and screamed, I killed him, I killed all... You know what, maybe I can just show it. Goblin Slayer read manga. Goblin Slayer manga. Should be this chapter. It's not available yet, so... Previous chapter before that. Okay. Wait a minute. I have not seen this one. Was my manga reader not caught up? Let me go back a few episodes. A few... Oh god, this is all new stuff. Okay, I'm behind several chapters. Okay, my manga reader has not been updating me. Okay. Wow, I'm like... That's a lot of chapters I'm behind. I'm just learning this for the first time. It's upsetting. What is this? Chapter 81. Of course you would barge rank. Okay. So I'm past this one, next chapter. We'll get to it in a second, chat, I promise. I just can't put it on screen right now because if I do... Okay, Musashi, go! If I do, I get struck because Japan has been kind of anal about this stuff lately. I just realized something. They put in that scene, the fan service scene, with their own bikinis and whatnot. But that's to cover because they completely skipped a different one, and that's what's upsetting. Okay, this is the chapter. They actually toned down the fan service. How dare they? Okay. There we go. Go ahead and share this tab instead. I think I should see it now, right? Yes. Make it bigger. Alright. So that's where he meets this one. I know. Goes up to it. I killed them. Every last one. You see, that's flashbacks. And you see here, like, she is wailing. These are sounds of just loudness. She is just broken about this. And it just cuts away and goes to a new scene. In the anime, she just kind of whimpered. And the two characters here, Elf Archer and Sister, they were just like, oh, nice little smiles. It's those little things that you need to keep in. It really gives a strong feel for just the visceral, horrible thing that happened to her. Not just half-assed wail. I'm gonna go away from this for a little bit. Just really frustrating that they went that angle. And so with that, no, I'm not gonna show that. Actually, no point. Let's go ahead and go back to the main screen. You disagreed with me about the chest size thing. Shame on you. You're not supposed to disagree with me. There we go. Share. Good. Alright, so I have a lot of chapters I can catch up on now. Fantastic. I had no idea. Maybe I'll do this after. We'll see. So that is the story with Goblin Slayer. It's fascinating how I become immensely autistic when watching this show. Just every single time, without exception, every single time Goblin Slayer says something like kill all the goblins or slay the goblins, I just grin from ear to ear. I love it. That's how it should be. Slay all the goblins. I was going to make a video, which is now in my script graveyard, talking about complex simplicity versus simple complexity. And how a lot of shows, they try and be really complex, but it just becomes convoluted and becomes overly simple because with so many things going on, you only see a single path of victory of what they could do. So then it's just a matter of do the one single thing to win. And then there's shows like Goblin Slayer, which are incredibly simple. It's a very simple show. But because of that, there's this huge amount of I don't actually know what's going to happen because there's so many angles that can go with it. For example, clean glasses. For example, when he used the scroll to summon the bottom of the ocean to cut the was it the Goblin Champion or was it an orc? I forget. But cuts that thing in half. Like it's things like that. Or when they're inside the tunnels the last couple of episodes, and he knows they're underneath a lake, so he does what he can to bring the lake down and drown them all. Just things like that. You don't know how they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And that's what I love about it. So going next, Eminence and Shadow Season 2. As many of you know, I dropped it like in episode 5 of Season 1. After the I Am Atomic scene, I just said, nope, I can't do this. It's a shame. I really loved the first episode, but it is what it is. If anybody here liked it, just let me know and we'll talk about it. Next, Dr. Stone, New World Part 2. I'm enjoying it. Let me get that out of the way. I am enjoying it. I'm loving it. They're doing something this season. I don't know if this happened in the manga, but the people's over-the-top facial expressions and reactions to stuff is getting cringy, I guess you can say. They're doing it way too often, way too long. It just keeps going and going and going. Otherwise, They are now at the part of inventing drones, scuba gear. The overall silliness of it all is just fantastic. I'm very curious of what angle they're gonna go with the magic device, we'll call it. I'm gonna call it the magic device because I don't know if Sunku is gonna be able to figure out how he can turn people into stone. I don't think he has a scientific formula to do all of that. But the big battle is upon us. Something which I kind of hoped they would have done, maybe they will in the future, is bring back the guy from the first season, whose name escapes me. If you guys remember, let me know. Bring him back and have him fight the new big bad. That'll get me excited. Because we know Kohaku can't fight him. So let's just have a nice big brawl of that. Not too much else to say with that one. Undead Unluck. Another fantastic show. Highly recommend. This has been one of those shows where it gets better with every single episode. It's the first episode I was kind of iffy on. I didn't know if I was going to continue watching it. But after the first episode, like, okay, I really enjoy it. The third episode, oh man, this is really good. Fourth episode, just on and on and on with that. That's how it's been the entire time. The world is evolving, the rules are evolving, it's evolving in a way that makes sense. In terms of rule breaking, it makes sense. You know what I mean. Much like how JoJo makes no sense, but it makes sense. It makes sense. And the main character, the female, she is legitimately waifu material. People usually say waifu material to signify who they want to fuck. But in this case, let me see more pictures. Yes, this is the cleanest we got of her. But in this case, she's actually like, honey, I'm home. Oh, you bake brownies type of waifu. It's fantastic. I love it. So if you've not picked it up, highly recommend it. Following that, so this one, oh, you guys didn't see because I opened a new tab. My apologies. I am competent, chat. Tsukasha? Is that how you say him? Had a hard time thinking of his name too. Oh, for God. That Goblin Slayer. Dr. Stone. Tsukasha. Him. The big, awesome, muscular guy who wanted to create a world without adults. So following this is what could be... So this is me personally, and I don't expect anybody else to feel like this because the show has several factors that are unique to me that make it more pleasurable. The apothecary deities. First of all, she's an apothecary. Depending on how you want to define it, I am also within that realm with my tea making. Apothecary, herbalism, alchemy, all those things along those lines. So there's a big draw for me with that. It takes place in old school China, which I highly love. It's a Japanese show, don't worry, so you don't have to freak out about it, guys. It's not from China, it's just set in China. It is beautiful to look at. I wondered... let's see if I can do this without... Okay, you... Close. Well, you can see from these shots right here. Like, she just looks beautiful. Every time, turn into a cat. And she does stuff like this. It's a beautiful show to look at. The colors are nice. Look at that. Look at that food. I want to eat it. Fantastic. No, you can't see because... Damn it. Why did it... Hold on. I thought it opened up in the same tab. It didn't. There we go. Share. Now you guys should see it. Let me double check. Yeah, you can see it. God, I need a third... not Quest of the Week, I should say, Quest of the Week style episodes. There seems to be a bigger grand structure that is slowly building up, slowly. But I'm really loving it. And because of all the other factors, I'm loving it as much as Freerun. But even if you don't have all the stuff that I got, in terms of reasons to love it, it's still a good show. And I highly recommend it. Go ahead and go back to this. I'm going to close you. Go back. Tokyo Revengers, I'm not seen. The Kingdoms of Ruin. This is a show that I was really excited about, but ended up dropping. It was a 3 edgy 5 me. It got a little bit too deep into edginess to the point where it was getting to be a little bit slapsticky. Wasn't feeling it. Like, I love revenge shows. Episode 1 did a good job setting up reasons to hate everybody and wanting to see them dead. But just the follow-up was just not too good. I think it was episode 4 I stopped when we already got summoned to the witches. And they're trying to do a whole subplot with that and the witches being shady or something. I stopped like halfway through the episode and I read the comments. And I'm happy I did stop. It felt like it was just trying to be edgy as opposed to being a good story about revenge. Now, the next thing on this list is surprising. The 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. This one took me by surprise. So I came into it thinking I was either going to like it or hate it. Because that's how these shows usually go. You know, if they knew they were just being a comedy, didn't try and go too lewd, then I was going to be happy. They've kept plenty of the lewdness, so that's still there. But it is highly self-aware. It is not trying to be something it's not. It knows what it is, and it just goes full force. And I love that. What really caught me off guard, starting from episode 3, was that it was actually incredibly wholesome. It's a wholesome show. And the following episodes after that, still wholesome. I was taken aback. So if you want to see plenty of the lewd stuff, plenty of jokes, lots of comedy, stuff that actually does make me laugh, while also making you go, aw, that is a show to watch. Our dating story I skipped. Ragnar Crimson. I really wanted to like the show. I really, really did. But I had to drop it after, I guess, technically episode 5, because the first episode was 2 episodes in one. It did not seem to really know what it wanted to do. It's like it started to world build, then just said, to hell with it, just do whatever you want. Having go just every step of the way, the next character is way too powerful. And I just don't like having to deal with that. So of course we had the basic dragons. Then we had the dragon hunters. I made all the basic dragons look like nothing. Then we moved on to the next stage of the humanoid dragons. And those were so powerful that even the top dragon hunters were completely no match for them. Oops, missed it too early. Shame on you. So yeah, the next stage of dragons completely overshadowing the best of the dragon hunters. To a point where there's no contest in this. There's just one of them who's making everyone look like a bitch. Then comes in the main character, Ragnar, who, through some time-traveling bullshit, gains the powers of his future self. So now he has all of that. It's, again, anime right now has too much of an issue of wish fulfillment. I don't know what's going on in Japanese culture, but it's too much, guys. It is too much. So yeah. So his future self goes back in time, hands him all of his powers, and he was making the next stage of dragons, the humanoid dragons, whatever name they had. they were all weak, pointless. They had no chance against him. And so if they're going to do that with the next stage of Dragons, I don't want to play that I was going to say hip hop. That game where you just hop from one overpowered thing to the next overpowered thing to the point where you wonder what's the structure of this world, because nothing makes sense. And I really want a good damn dragon show. There's not enough of them. There's barely any of them. Dragon Maid it barely counts. But I need more dragon shows, and I was hoping this show was going to be it. But after they introduced automobiles to this thing, in episode 5 or whatever, making me wonder why we have not seen automobiles before, what time period this is somewhat supposed to be set in, because this seemed like it was like 1100s. Now we got cars going around. Okay, out of those, Shangri-La Frontier, that's the only one of that list, El Otaku, that I don't recognize. Point it out when we go by it. So yeah, that was my issue. Have I seen Fog Hill of the 5 Elements? I have not heard of that, but I'm gonna Google it right now, actually. Fog Hill of the 5 Elements. 2020 to 2023. Let's take a look. Fog Hill 5 Elements Chapter 2. Premiered in July of 2023. Okay, that doesn't tell me what it is. I'll go to IMDb. A legend tells that monsters could give the ability to certain elected officials to master the 5 elements. But for that, you have to go through the dangerous Foggy Mountains. Follows the adventures of one of these elected officials. I have not seen it, but I am curious. I am adding it to my list. I will give this guy a watch when I can. Thank you for the recommendation. This seems like it might be up my alley. Shy is about... We'll get to Shy. We've not gotten to Shy yet. Right now we're going through the list in order, and Shy has not come up yet. So yeah, that was Ragnar Crimson. Similar story with the next thing on the list. Berserk of Gluttony. So this one, excuse me as I take my nice little sip of tea. Yeah, I made this well. Berserk of Gluttony started out really well. First few episodes I loved. They did something which I normally hate, but they explained it in a way that made me enjoy it. So in shows like this, it's not an isekai, so bonus points. In shows like this, sometimes what they do is they make all the characters able to see the stats of everybody else. So you can just magically see the power levels. And I despise it when they do that. For me, that's an immediate warning sign that things are going to go downhill. I remember in 7 Deadly Sins, Season 2, when they started to do that, I immediately went, uh-oh. And aside from... how am I forgetting his name? The sun guy. The big, powerful guy who gets his power from the sun. I can't remember his name. But he was like the only good part of that season. Everything just began to just fall apart. The difference between 7 Deadly Sins Season 1 and Season 2 is staggering. It practically became a new show. And I don't like that. But anyway, back to the plot. So Berserk of Gluttony, it did several things I did not like. And I'll tell you what the final nail in the coffin was for me at the end of all this. So one thing I did not like, and it gets to the point where I couldn't overlook, is what a coincidence moments. Too many things of just pure 1 in a million chance. It just so happens to run into the right thing at the right time. For example, he had like 2 cents. He wanted to buy himself a weapon to practice his new unlocked ability. So he goes to one weapon vendor, the one weapon vendor says, "Wow, this is no money at all. You can only look through the garbage section of the stuff. Everything that's in that bin right over there." So he goes through the bin, and wouldn't you know it, he just so happens to find this amazing sword that perfectly lines up with his gifts. They're like made for each other, and it just so happens to be in this bin in the very first store place he looks at. They can talk to each other and all this other stuff that nobody else could see that it was actually an amazing sword. Oh yeah, I've got to say, what made it cool with the way they were doing the you can see people's power levels thing is that basically humanity was getting their ass kicked by all these monsters and demons, and so God came around and gave them skills. Everyone had their own individual skill. Some were amazing, some sucked, but people had skills, and they could see power levels of themselves and the monsters, so they could know when to fight, when to retreat. And so giving them that ability made sense. I could see why. I could easily run with it. I could enjoy it. And they were doing more with the power levels, especially with the main character and the sword, just like trading of skill points or whatever. It made sense. But we had that convenience. We had, hey, I don't want people to recognize me. I'm gonna look over to my left. Oh, look at this. A special mask that uses magic to hide the view of what the character is based on who is looking at them, so nobody sees the same character. So it's easy to hide. Well, what a coincidence! And just one thing after another. But my big thing, which I did not like, is they made the villains, well, really all the characters, but the villains especially, these cartoonish caricatures of what they could be. You know, the type that like kick a puppy just for the sake of kicking a puppy. And it's fine if it happens once, but if they just keep kicking puppy after puppy after puppy, it's just like, we get it, I guess. You could do something else. Like, just, I don't know, move on with the plot and stop kicking the puppies. They're just over the top cartoonishly evil. And so my I'm done with the show moment was the main character was having a flashback. A flashback when he lived in a different town. His father was a warrior, a soldier, and he was helping guard the town they were in. And so the main character when he was a kid was kind of useless, but he knew herbalism and he knew how to heal people and all this other stuff. Yes, cat, I see you. No one's donated $10, so you can't come up here. And for whatever reason, the villagers just didn't like him. And after the father died, the villagers, you know, the normal everyday villagers, looked at the kid and said, "What should we do with him?" Well, even though he's got the ability to, he's got the ability to create herbs and medicines and whatnot, I guess we don't need that. We don't want to have another mouth to feed. So let's just, while the child is grieving over his dead father in the gravesite, let's just pick up some rocks and throw rocks at him and tell him to get out. That was my I am done with the series moment. Because it did not draw me in. It felt like I was watching a 5-year-old try and tell a story he was making up on the spot. Like, you need to give me more than the villagers just randomly decided to toss rocks at a grieving child at his father's grave because they didn't want to feed him. That's not good storytelling. And they're also playing the overpowered leapfrog game, where it goes from overpowered to something else that's overpowered to something else that's overpowered to the point where, I don't know, it's all kind of falling apart. But that's when I stopped watching that show. I didn't want to, but it is what it is. Scrolling on down. The Faraway Paladin, Season 2. It's one of the shows where I don't understand why more people are not talking about it. and I really wish we would have more people talking about it. It's a fantastic show from every element there is. From the world building to the show's mythology to where they do gods and goddesses, paladins, and the way they have the powers, the main character, his backstory growing up. It is technically an isekai, but it feels like the author threw in the isekai just for the sake of the label, because they do nothing with the isekai. They mention it in a couple of the first episodes, and then it just never relevance again. They do so many things well. Right now, the main character and his entourage are trying to figure out what to do with this horrible, devastating dragon that's slowly encroaching upon the land. And the way they set it up with the way the dragon is able to just wreck things and you don't even see him, seeing the main character be afraid, just genuinely afraid, having no clue how he can possibly beat it, to other gods who are normally against the paladin coming up and saying, hey, I know we got our differences, but this thing will kill you, I don't know what you're doing. The way they're setting up is just fantastic. In every episode, I'm just waiting for the next one to see how he's going to deal with this massive dragon. It's a fantastic show. If you have not watched it yet, I highly recommend that you do. Demon Sword Method, I have not watched it. This show, I wanted to watch it. It was on my list, but for some reason I just skipped over it. The Ron, Coma, blah blah blah, forbidden deductions. If anyone has watched this, and if it's any good, let me know. Because maybe I will go back to it and watch it, since I've dropped now 1, 2, 3 shows. Without any others, I don't think I have. But I've dropped 3 shows so far this season. Teaman Deathplay Season 2. Again, fantastic show, Season 2 of it. To start off doing my usual thing, giving a little bit of criticism, is they're expanding a little bit too much. Introducing too many new characters, too many new plot lines. It's kind of getting all over the place. But I'm hoping, with the last episode, with the way it ended, that we finally have all of these different plot lines. They can finally start coming back to the main singular focus. That is what I want from the show. Just bring everything back together again. It's possible, because right now, for example, the character who is a newspaper reporter, I see no purpose for this character existing. Nothing she has done has changed anything with the plot. Nor do I see how she could, unless they pull the angle of, I'm going to tell the populace what's going on, which will be kind of lame if that's all she's doing, but she has no purpose of existing, in my opinion. But otherwise, it constantly leaves me on the edge of my seat. Great characters. We got some good world building that's still going on. If you've not seen Season 1, go and watch Season 1. Next on this list, Girlfriend Season 2, I've not watched it. Shadow and Vampire Princess, nope, just not my type of show. In Love with the Villainess, nope, not for me. Alright, here's another show I dropped kind of early on. I'm giving the Disgraced Noble less. Let me just go tweet it. I'm giving the Disgraced Noble Lady I rescued a crash course in naughtiness. It was just kind of lame for me. Like, the joke was that he's saying naughtiness, so you think he's gonna show her, like, sexy things. But then it's stuff like, you're gonna eat dessert for dinner type of stuff. Yeah, it's funny once. If you keep doing it, it gets old. And I was honestly done by Season 2. Not Season 2, Episode 2. It just was not for me. I could see other people liking it, it was just not for me. Ancient Magus Bite, Season 2, Part 2. Again, another fantastic show. If you've not watched it before, I highly recommend it. Season 2 has definitely slowed things down a little bit. I see this a lot anytime a show goes to a school and they have a school arc with classmates and whatnot. Things tend to slow down. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I am okay with it, but I can recognize why other people wouldn't be. It seems like we're finally getting to like a big bad, I guess you can say, of overall show. Now it's going. It's doing its thing. Not too much else to say. Saints Magic Power, I've not seen that. Returners Magic should be special. I dropped the show as well, only because I don't know, I didn't feel like continuing it. Ended up just being a little bit too meh for me, that's all. Nothing that I want to really strongly complain about. It just was not doing enough for me, that's it. But I would still recommend it because I could see this being up a lot of people's alley. Basic plotline is they defeated the big bad, but the big bad basically exploded to kill them all. And the character in the middle, the main character, went back in time to when he went to, I don't know what you call it, the Learn How to Kill Bad Things college. And so now he has a chance to face the big bad again. Now he's got to find his friends again, train them again, make sure they don't do any of the mistakes like in the past, etc., etc. A Girl and Her God Dog. This is one of those shows where if you watch it, it's going to give me alarm bells. I have not seen it myself, but I've seen a few clips and lines. It's taking just the lolicon conversation to the side for now. This show in particular, it's unironic pedo bait. She's in, what, junior high? He's an adult. And he is just lusting after her, saying, yeah, I'm your boyfriend, etc. I can't... Oh, entering her high school. But still, she's, what, 14? Yeah, I just can't do it. Next. This one, My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned Ex-Wake Adventurer. I dropped it after episode 2 just because, I don't know, it wasn't doing it for me, it was kind of dragging. It might be for other people. You hate isekai, I hate school setting. I really thought about it before. If school setting really matters to me. It depends on what's going on with the school setting. I don't think I watch too many... Or maybe I do, I just never think about it like that. Maybe. Maybe I don't like it, maybe I do, I don't know. After School Hanoko-kun, I didn't watch this, so I don't know. Under Ninja, I dropped this in about 5 minutes. It seemed like it was going to go the route of do everything you can to be edgy. It was edgy no jutsu. I just wasn't having it. Overtake, not watching. 7 Deadly Sins. After season 4, never again. Ghost, no. Shy, there we go. Shy is another great one. The first episode for me was kind of iffy, but I'm loving everything they're doing with it. You're doing some unique not camera angles, but unique shots, I guess you can say, that resemble that of a comic book, but I don't see other shows doing. And I like it every time they do it, because it feels unique, and it works. They're not just shoehorning it in. It's one of the few times the main character is trying to use basically the power of love and friendship that doesn't feel corny and cheesy, and it works. She's cute in the way her shyness just... She is shy, there's a reason her name is like that. Just cute watching her interactions with everybody, classmates, older heroes, things along those lines. In the way... There was one scene when she was fighting another hero. It's like a test type of thing. And the way the hero went is, if he is able to keep his heart just calm and under control, he can manipulate things around him, keeping it vague. And so Shy, if she wanted to win the fight, which is just land a single hit on him, she needed to shake up his heart. And the way she did it was awesome and believable. Like, the hero was like almost like a anti-hero, anti-villain almost. Where he is just a dick, a heartless, soulless dick. But even though he is those things, Shy says that she sees that he's actually a good person because of how he is using his dickishness. And that kind of shakes him up because she sees right through him. And through that shaking up, she is able to win, unlock the powers, yada yada. And again, shows that Japan does superheroes better than America. So that's a fantastic show. Highly recommend. Another one of those I look forward to every Mondays. The one next to it, full title, Teaman Empire. We'll just go with that. I don't care about the rest of the stuff. Basic plotline is definitely not Marie Antoinette after she gets guillotined, goes back in time to when she's a child, and now has a chance to rewrite history so she doesn't get guillotined. I like it. It's surprisingly good, minus the fight scenes. The fight scenes are kind of meh, but it's not a fighting anime, so I can easily overlook that. Otherwise, it's surprisingly good. And pretty funny, because everyone thinks she's doing all of this noble stuff, when really she's just trying to get her head cut off. It's a fun little story. Recommend. Skip this one, play through of a guy's MMO life. Stardust Telepath, didn't see. Family Circumstances, Regular Witch. I was curious about it, but it seemed like it was just too much loot bait. But if it's got a plot, let me know. Maybe I'll go back to it and see it. 16-bit Sensation. Don't really know what this is. Skip. Did not see the first season. The story of a man who turned into a pig. Most never gonna give that a chance. Skip. Is there anything else here which I've seen? My new boss is goofy. I just didn't get around to watching it, so I don't know if it's good or not. It was on my list. I just went over it. Let me know if it's good. I can go back to it. This one I skipped after reading the comments. It seemed like it was not going to be what I hoped it was going to be. Protocol Rain is what I was talking about. I shall survive using potions. I didn't see. Firefight the Daigo. Rescued in Orange. This one is another excellent anime. Really fun. Highly recommend. There's something which they do, though, which I gotta show you guys. It's funny for all the wrong reasons. I'm gonna laugh if I get a copyright strike for this one. Okay, so that's the latest episode, yes. That's not. Mute that. Oop. That's the scene, right? Yeah. Okay. Give me a moment. I want to find a good place to, That's good enough. Go here. You go... No, other way around. You go away. Share. Screen. I'm going to have the audio muted. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to put the audio back on. Raise it up. But then this, I'm going to mute the background up. Really? There we go. Right. So this anime does this a lot, and it's kind of... It's annoying, and you're going to see why in just a second. Might as well full screen it. All right. That was at least 9, maybe 10 seconds. Let's go back and see it again. Okay, watch the clock. 7. 16. They just held onto that scene forever. It was frustrating to watch because I was wondering, like, did something freeze? But the music is still playing. I couldn't figure it out. It's just they held that shot for 9 seconds. And they do stuff like that all the time in the show to just kill time. I don't know why they do it, but it's distracting. Aside from that, one of the best shows of the season. I love these based in real life type of shows that can get kind of silly. One of the characters dislocates a shoulder to fit into a small space. But it's possible. You're probably not going to see much of it. But that's the type of show that this is. You get to see firefighters in Japan and how they do the stuff they do. So, again, recommend. Go back, show on screen. There we go. And I think it actually might be it. Let's see. Did not see this one. I don't even have a... Nope. Uma Musume, no. Bullbuster. Captain Tsubasa. Idolmaster. Yeah, the rest of these are just continuous shows. Dog Signal. And so that covers all the stuff that I've been watching this season. Yeah, go back here. And so yeah, that's my overall recommendation. So even though there's things I dropped, the things I dropped was not based off of me going, God, this is just awful, shame on you, except that ninja one. It had a lot of stuff that was unique. I have many things to watch, especially Friday and Saturday, my big watching days. And I never am able to really finish, so it goes on until like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All the stuff I've dropped, Tuesday and Wednesday, I have nothing to watch. Oh, something that was not on the list, Rurouni Kenshin. The continuing season. Still watching that. Still good. So yeah, based on a previous season, especially last season had almost nothing. It was bad. I looked a little bit ahead. Winter 2024, it's not looking good. At least for me, it's not looking good. I looked even further ahead. Right now, spring 2024 is already looking better than winter 2024. And they don't even have most of the shows listed. But yeah, that is my list of the things I've seen. I know there's been a couple of mentions here about other shows. Scrolling up, Mr. El Otaku. Shingari La Frontier. I don't know that one. Let me know what that one is, because if it's good, I might watch it. So you got the new recommendation. What was it called? Fog Hill 5 Elements. Looking forward to watching that one. And so yeah, that pretty much covers all that I wanted to cover with that. I only got halfway through my tea. Interesting. It's a video game about a dude in a bird. It's Japanese, I'll give you that. It is definitely Japanese. But yeah, that pretty much covers all that I wanted to talk about. And so with all of that, good, just a little bit over an hour, so I didn't extend this longer than it needed to be. Again, apologies for the recent content, that it's just been lazy slop, but it will continue, at least until I get enough subscribers I can go back to doing stuff I want to do. A dude in a bird mask. Bird mask. Okay, that's a little bit better. So yeah, the slop will continue as I gain more people, until I can no longer worry about slop. I can go back to making quality content, which I hope will be sooner rather than later. But that's enough of the sad stuff. I think it's about time we go ahead and wrap this guy up. So again, thank you all who have joined us. Those who are going to be watching the VOD, highly appreciate you guys watching and for sticking with me through these awkward times, and I will see you next time. Farewell.